Welcome to this interview. Thank you, Francisca Siracusa, for your time. I am reading a course at the Gothenburg University in Sweden. The name of the course is Contemporary Esotericism. The name of my teacher is Henrik Bogdan, and my name is Kalle Lundhal. Thank you, Francisca Siracusa, for your time, and for recording purposes, I must say that today is May 11th, 2025. And Francisca, could you please introduce yourself?
Thank you for inviting me. So I'm Francisca Siracusa. I'm a principal teacher of the Diana Cooper School of White Light. I'm Ascension leader, and I'm also an author. I've just published my latest book, Archangels, Feng Shui with Archangels, Unicorns, and Dragons.
Wonderful.
So people come to me for certified teacher trainings. The Diana Cooper School of White Light, we teach about topics like angels, ascension, unicorns, transform your life, golden Atlantis, Lemurian planetary healing, and some more things like that. And we train people to be teachers.
Thank you. Could you, Francisca, please say something about this school? And you told me already a little bit, and how you become involved in this school.
Oh, well, that was a long time ago. At the time, I was taking a course in London. I was taking a course to become an angel practitioner, and that was with Charles Virtue, son of Doreen Virtue. And at that training, there was Bekan Tore, and he was doing readings for the participants. So he told me that I should work with unicorns, and that was something completely new to me. So I did some research, and I found Diana Cooper's book on unicorns, as well as her book on Atlantis, and I was completely fascinated. So I was reading these books, and then I really wanted to, explore this. So I've signed up first for a correspondence course with our school. It was like an angel correspondence course. Maybe that was directly over Diana's website. And my teacher then suggested, why don't you become a teacher? So I signed up. My first course with the Diana Cooper School was Golden Atlantis. So I felt such a strong call to do this that I actually went to London for 10 days, because the whole training was intensive, like 9 full days. And I took 3 children with me and a babysitter. As you can imagine, that was quite a bit of a challenge, but I was very happy to take that training there and come back as a Diana Cooper School teacher in Golden Atlantis. So that was my first. And over time, I took several other modules. And at that time, the school was not teaching online, which is why every time I had to travel, I had to go to England to take these courses, as I'm living in Italy. And after having taken a few more modules and actually starting to teach, because when I took my first training, I never thought I would be teaching. I just, was really interested in the topic and wanted to know more about it. So I had no intention to be a teacher. I just wanted to know more about Atlantis. And then, I realized I could actually teach. And I started taking more topics, and until my teacher at some point suggested, why don't you become a master teacher? So when you qualify as a master teacher, you can then train other people to be teachers.
Thank you, thank you. Since you mentioned unicorns in the beginning of this interview and they were so important for you, what did you discover about the unicorns and have you had any experience with them?
Well, I was reading the book and I was obviously then also taking at some point the unicorn teacher training with our school. So unicorns to me are higher beings, just like angels. Their energy is very pure. So Diana refers to them as the purest of the pure. And they have a special task. Their special mission is to align you with your soul mission. So they will help you to discover what is aligned with your soul intentions. So why you chose to incarnate at this particular time. So they will guide you in the right direction.
Fascinating. And you got answers from the unicorns to your questions, I suppose.
Well, I feel very connected to the unicorns. It's just such a joy to work with their energy. Well, yes, I feel I am working in my life mission now. When I started off, I wasn't. So gradually, I became a teacher, and in time, actually, it was COVID that gave me the final push because my main occupation at that time was organizing travel. So from one day to the next, there was no more travel.
Okay.
No more income from traveling. And so at that time, we as a school decided to teach our courses online. And then in a few months, suddenly I was a full-time spiritual teacher. I had lots of students, taking courses, because obviously it was now much more accessible to people as well, and of course worldwide. So I have students from all over the globe. And I also became, a principal teacher of the school. So much
Wonderful
more
one.
involved.
Let me move to next topic. Could you please tell me about your experiences with oracle cards?
Yes, so oracle cards, they have always attracted me. So now we have beautiful decks from Diana. In the past, I was also working with Doreen Virtue's oracle decks. I'm trying to remember. So when I took that angel training, which I already mentioned to you, with Charles Virtue, that was in 2009, I actually learned how to do angel readings. And it was something I focused on for a while, even here locally. People would come to me and ask for an angel reading. Now I've sort of switched the cards. So I'm now using Diana's decks. I love them all. We have this. There's an older version of the unicorn cards, but this is Magic of Unicorns. So that's fairly new. We also have dragons. We haven't talked about dragons yet. My angel deck. Give me a second. It's here. So that's the archangels. And these cards, they are really complementing our teachings. So if I'm teaching an angel course, I can take these cards, I can show the images to the students. We can pick cards. They will also learn how to read cards. And we have also the animals. So we also have an animal world module in our school. Again, it's so much better with the cards. And our latest training module is the Golden Future. And these are also the latest cards published by Diana. So these are the cards that I mainly work with. I also created my own card deck. And
Please tell me about that.
yes, so it's called the Higher Frequency Oracle. And as of yet, I don't have a printed version yet, but I have signed a contract with Findhorn Press, and I'm very much looking forward to actually having them. So at the moment, I've got them made from cardboard, so I've got my messages written on cardboard. But I pick one of those every day. I love my cards. So I do work with them, even though I don't have the physical deck yet.
So do you pick one card each day for each card deck, or how do you do?
No. I only pick one from my own card deck. So as I'm teaching most days, whatever I'm teaching, I will be picking cards from here. So usually when I work with a student, I would, there'll be maybe after meditation, I say, let's pick a card. So if the student also has the cards, we would usually do it like this. I will pick one for the student and the student will pick one for me. If the student doesn't have that particular deck, I will pick both cards. But the students love the cards. If you like, I can pick one for you.
Okay, please.
Which deck?
Let's pick an Archangel.
Archangels. Okay. You got Archangel Haniel. This card is about seeking soul satisfaction. And in fact, it's what we were talking about, like with the unicorns. They're, of course, connected with the moon. And this is what the unicorn's mission is about, to help you find, what brings you satisfaction. Because when you work in your mission, then you will feel happy and satisfied. And in fact, it says, fan a flame of inner happiness. So when you are working in mission, you will feel that happiness. You will feel excited. You can't wait to get up, and you feel motivated to go about your day. And tomorrow, of course, is a full moon.
Yes.
And it's a very special full moon. It's the Wesak full moon. Do you know about that?
No, please tell us something.
It's a special festival that's celebrated in some of the Asian countries, and it's also celebrated in the spiritual community. And it happens. It's to do with Buddha. It's the birthday of Buddha, and so these teachings, they come through Dwal Kul, through Alice Bailey. So it is said that the Buddha arrives exactly at the full moon. So when the full moon rises and reaches its zenith, then the Buddha will arrive floating in the lotus position in the Wesak Valley. Wesak is the name of a valley in the Himalayan mountains. And then the Christ also comes in. So the Christ, Lord Maitreya. And so the Christ and Buddha energies meet in the Wesak Valley. And the masters, the angels, the star beings, everyone, even us, during our sleep time on the inner planes, the disciples of the masters, the initiates, which is us, we go there for this celebration. It's a time for initiations, and it's also a time, to reaffirm your vows. So if you are spiritually awake and you know that you have incarnated here on Earth at this special time when the Earth is shifting into higher dimension, so you have come here with soul contracts, with a mission, and you can reaffirm your vows, that you will carry them out and be of service to Earth and humanity. So that's happening now.
Now I have also my own experiences with cards, and I also get Haniel around new moon or full moon, and
Yes.
that happens often. So
Yes.
I believe also in that.
Okay.
Do you have a favorite card, a card that you have a bound, or you love one specific card that has?
I have them. So a favorite card from this deck would be well, one dropped into my mind, and that was Lord Wywife.
Mhm.
Looking at them, I love them. I love many of them. So Lord Wywife. And this card is about, well, it says here, accept and send healing, and you are a being of the universe. To me, this is a card that comes up when people are ready to carry higher responsibilities. So yeah, if you read in the guidebook, I'm sure it will tell you that, but I've experienced this. So I had Lord Wywife appearing, and I felt his very strong connection. His energy is so powerful, so pure. And so I remember I've created a short visualization around this topic, which is also on my YouTube channel. And I also use it when I have, for example, people training to be master teachers. So as principal teacher of the school, I will also train people to be master teachers. So usually in their last training session, I will connect them with Lord Wywife to help them to be, to help them to carry higher responsibility, which their new role will bring. So this is one of the cards I love.
Franziska, I also had experiences with this card. Can you guess? Can you guess which in which connection? No, you cannot know. But I have also I have studied laughter yoga. I have a certificate as a laughter yoga teacher.
Yes.
So when I shuffled the cards about laughter yoga, and I got both Archangel Raphael and Lord Vyvaisine.
Okay.
So since Lord Vyvaisine is the master of healing schools, Lord Vyvaisine is master of healing schools. So he has a role also for laughter, because laughter is the best medicine, as you know.
Absolutely, I agree.
So I also am a believer in Lord Vyvaisine. Absolutely. So I have a personal connection to this card. So by the way, I have one card deck with me, Atlantis.
Yes.
Do you want that I pick a card for you?
If you like, pick one.
So these are cards. You know that they have. I will not look into them because they have.
Yeah, they have the writings. So I use those.
Yes. So
for
I will look up.
Atlantis training.
So this will contain the answer. A message for Franziska. Positivity.
Oh.
Let me see positivity. Can you see it? No, excuse me. It's let me see positivity.
Okay.
And it says success awaits you. So nice. In called Atlantis, negative words simply did not exist. I will not read the whole card. But let's move to, if you don't want to add something about cards before we move to next subject.
Yeah, you can move to the next subject.
Okay, so next
Do
is,
you want?
what is your experience with crystals?
Well, I have many of them. They're everywhere. They are part of my existence. I've loved them ever since I was a child. And I think I was showing you this earlier. I was given this as a gift in January. And it's just such a beautiful crystal. It's just amazingly beautiful. So I felt so, so happy. I was given this in Singapore. And I don't think I've actually tuned in, because of course you can tune in and find out why a crystal is coming to you. Now, I haven't done that. I just felt so happy and joyful of having this beautiful companion now. But I'm sure there's a higher reason for it. Sometimes we would get special gifts, you know, when you go through your initiation, through your tests. I've observed, like, you know, we have to, as part of the Ascension, pass the Ascension training. There are like 7 major initiations we go through. And it has happened to me that at important times, suddenly I will be gifted something amazing, like, you know, like a beautiful ankh or my sword. I have a sword. I wasn't gifted it, but it was very difficult to get it. And I realized it was an initiation to actually receive it. But yeah, back to crystals. They're here. I mean, my favorite ones are this skull. This is keeping me within the Atlantean energies. I love crystal skulls, and you may know that I have interviewed several times Bill Homan, who is the guardian of the Mitchell Hedges crystal skull, believed to be one of the 13 Atlantean skulls. So this one's Atlantean energy. I always have these here on my desk, some others as well. And this is my beautiful Lemurian crystal. So the Lemurian crystals, they have special programming. So Lemuria is the era that preceded Atlantis. And the Lemurians, they placed these special crystals into the earth with help of dragons. And they have programming. So they have like these horizontal stripes. You can feel them, you can see them. And so if you touch this, you know, you're receiving codes from this programming from the Lemurians. And these crystals, they are bringing healing to Earth to help us get ready for this double dimensional shift into the 5th dimension. So this is something that has never happened before, that the Earth is, you know, just in like 20 years, shifting from the 3rd dimension to the 5th dimension.
And the crystals, the Lemurian crystal, does it have a name? What kind of crystal? Is it quartz? No.
This is clear quartz.
Yes.
Clear quartz Lemurian crystal.
But why do you call it Lemurian? How do you know it's Lemurian, so to say?
We know because we can see the stripes, the programming, but you can also feel the purity of the light that is inside this crystal. So the way these were formed is that the Lemurians, they were able to access qualities from the auras of stars, and together with pure source light, they solidified them into these crystals. So they were able to access pure source light and create these crystals out of it, together with the auras, with the qualities from the aura of Earth and other planets. So we teach this in the school in our Lemurian planetary healing module.
Okay, thank you. The necklace that you got in Singapore, which crystal is it?
This one,
Yes.
it's a cestolite.
Cestolite, okay. Oh, cestolite. What is special with cestolite? How do you make meaning of cestolite?
It's it brings higher light.
Higher light.
It keeps you in light, brings you higher light. It's a crystal for the new era.
Is it connected to a specific archangel or something? No. No.
I think so.
Okay. So what is your favorite crystal? Absolute favorite crystal?
I don't have my crystals. Well, I love this one, absolutely. And of course, I love the one I showed you, my skull and this Lemurian. And I also very much love, let me just get it. This is another skull. It's a lapislazuli skull. And apparently I've worked with the essence of this crystal already in Atlantis.
Oh.
As I was looking at this one also looked at me, so I had to pick it up. I think this one is angel light. But I was given.
So you get codes. So you feel you get codes or messages from this, or how do you communicate with them?
I work with them. Well, I don't, but I mean, you know, in my own card deck, there is a card that is called Crystal.
Okay.
And whenever I pick that card, I will grab a crystal. So whichever one I feel I need to grab, and I just surrender to the energy. It's not like I'm going to, you know, do anything else. I just surrender to the energy. I know the crystals, they increase my power. It's like they are an extension of me, and also will always make sure that they are aligned to the fifth dimension or higher. So that's one thing I do. But, you know, when I work with people doing trainings, obviously I do specific exercises with them, but I don't really do that outside of my teaching. So, for example, there would be, well, actually now I'm just remembering, you saw me wearing this one. In the past, I used to wear this one always for special occasions. And it's a Moldavite. Now, interestingly, I had a dream about a Moldavite crystal. So crystals, they will come to you also in your dreams. I get very strong messages from crystals in my dreams. I remember this one time, there was a huge crystal that appeared to me in my dream. I don't know, I can't tell you what kind of crystal it was, but, you know, it tells me that it's like a multidimensional, powerful being that has contacted me in my dream. And I feel that like we can have, you know, we have our guardian angel, or we can have our dragon, our unicorns. There are also crystals that are working with us, not just crystals that we actually hold, but powerful high-frequency crystals. They may just contact you like this in your sleep time. And the moldavite crystal I saw in my dream was not this one. It was a different one. But, you know, it was in the dream, there was someone admiring this moldavite necklace. It was like a necklace, and it had lots of pieces, big pieces of moldavite. And I was explaining to that girl what moldavite is all about. And then in the morning, when I remembered this dream, I said, okay, what does that mean? I better go and get my moldavite crystal out. So I just felt I need the energy to be on me. I don't necessarily need to know exactly why, but for me, because this moldavite came into being, it's a very rare crystal, so it probably will be extinct at some point, because it came into existence because of a meteorite that crashed into the planet at some point, and then these moldavite crystals formed as a result. So what I feel from this crystal is that it keeps me connected with my home planet. And when we are connected with our home planet, or planets even, just thinking about this now, because I know I have had lives on many, many different stars and planets. Home planet would be the one, you know, which you are most familiar with, or maybe the last place you've been to before you came here. I don't completely know it, but I know this crystal can keep me connected to the stars, and I can feel happier in my earthly incarnation as I maintain this connection. So maybe that's what I needed, and that's why I had this dream, which reminded me about my moldavite crystal. Or maybe it wants to come with me to Athens next, as you know, next week. I'm coming to Athens, and I will be teaching about golden Atlantis. So maybe I was planning to take it with me now that this happened. So the crystals communicate with me in this way.
Do you think that crystals can actually heal people, so to say, physical healing? Say somebody has a sore or something, and you put a crystal, and how would you know which crystal? You would say somebody has hurt himself or herself on the arm. What would you do? Will you work on that?
Healing with crystals is obviously what happened in Golden Atlantis, and people, you know, this healing technique is coming back. So there are many crystal healers out there. I'm not specifically a crystal healer, but there may be people out there who literally have that as their main mission. And you know, you have to use your intuition. I mean, there are many books out there, as you know. The crystals all have specific qualities. I, for example, have Trudy Hall's Crystal Bible, very famous book. So it will give you information about each of the crystals. But, you know, if you have crystals at home, you know, you can just close your eyes and pick one, and it will be the one that you need at that moment in time. So, yeah. And of course, that crystal I mentioned before, the crystal skull, the Mitchell Hedges crystal skull, that has amazing healing power. It heals with love. And I can tell you an experience I've had with that crystal. Yeah, when I was teaching Atlantis probably, and I was connecting one of my students with this crystal. So as we were connecting to it and surrendering to its energy, what happened is I saw the crystal surrounded by petals of flowers, flower petals. And then when the session finished, I had to go out quickly. I had to go out and pick up my son. When I came back, I found flower petals on the floor.
Oi, oi, oi.
And I took a photo of my window. There was a shutter down. There was only such a small opening, and that opening was covered by a mosquito net. So tell me, how did these flower petals come into here?
Oi. Amazing.
Yeah, yeah, pink. They're pink, and the ones I saw in the vision were pink as well. Obviously,
Was
pink.
it the blue skull or the crystal? Was it the
It's
blue crystal?
the crystal hedges, the Mitchell Hedges crystal skull. It's a very famous, huge crystal skull, and its guardian is Bill Homan. So sometimes I do an event together with Bill, and he will connect the group to this skull. So the one I mentioned before, the legend, there's a legend about the 13 Atlantean skulls. So this one is believed to be one of those. And also science cannot explain how this possibly could have come into existence. It's also known as the skull of love and the Mayan skull. So I feel I have a very deep connection with that skull. And I just, whenever I get guidance or something, I just act upon it. Right now, I'm organizing another event with this skull to send healing love to South Africa. So that's guidance that has come through for me. So I asked Bill, can we do this? And he said yes. So that's one way I interact with the skull and, help to spread its energy.
Thank you. Thanks for that. I will move to next question.
Yes.
The next topic. What is your perception of Christ consciousness? Christ consciousness.
Christ consciousness. So Christ consciousness, it's something that we all have to have by the time the new golden age starts. So Diana tells us the new golden age starts in 2032. So there are cosmic eras. So Atlantis was a cosmic era that lasted 260,000 years. So the cosmic era of Atlantis ended in 2012. So that means we're actually still part of the Atlantean age. Everyone who was around up to then was actually still part of the cosmic era of Atlantis. And because that era lasted so long, probably almost everyone would have had lifetimes in Atlantis. And so we are now in a 20-year transition. So between 2012 and 2032, there are 20 years. And during that time, Source is breathing in. So the 260,000 years of Atlantis was an out-breath of Source. Now he's breathing in. So he's taking back everything that no longer serves us, everything that's going to be irrelevant or of no use in an era where everyone will be fifth dimensional and everyone will have the heart, the higher heart activated. Everything has to be transmuted and let go. So Source is helping us by breathing in, and everything, is coming to the surface. So if there are things inside you that you have repressed that need to be transmuted, any lower emotions like anger, that kind of thing, fear, jealousy, shame, all the lower emotions that don't serve us. if you have anything like that inside of you, things will happen to make them come to the surface so they can be transmuted, and we can make this transition into higher frequency.
Thank you.
Oh, sorry, you were asking about the Christ consciousness. Yes. In this new era, Source is going to breathe out again. So in 2032, that's when it starts. So he starts to breathe out again. And, you know, that'll be like day one, and we can start building the bricks for a complete new way of living, a fifth dimensional way of living, where people respect each other, where everyone is welcome, where we act from the heart, where we do things, you know, from the heart to help other people. So if you love building houses, you will build a house for someone, if that's your special task. And you don't expect to be paid for it, but you will receive everything that you need. You know, there will be people who love growing food, so you will have all the food available that you need. We will have psychic skills coming back, so we will be able to manifest at much higher levels. Ownership is going to become irrelevant. So with spiritual technology, we will be able to have amazing innovations, you know. So if you need to travel somewhere, maybe you send out a telepathic thought, and you will have a car or whatever we're going to be using, a vehicle, an ecological vehicle, turn up in front of your door, and you can drive it wherever you want to go, or someone will drive it for you, or it will go by itself. So ownership is going to become irrelevant. Again, you know, if you need a house, if you need a bigger house, someone will build it for you. You don't need to own it. There's not going to be any need for clutter in your home. Maybe, you know, if you need a book, you can just ask for it telepathically and you will have it in your hand. So you don't need to clutter your home with many things. Or I imagine, for example, you know, things you don't use all the time, like your bed. So while you don't need it, you don't see it. When it comes to nighttime and you need to sleep, you just make it appear somehow. That kind of living. So that's what Christ consciousness is all about, to act from the heart, to have an open heart, to be kind, you know, to look out for all the people who are there living with you, who are there with you in that existence, and everyone contributing in a way they can. There's never any judging. If anyone needs help, you help.
Wonderful. We need a society like that. Hallelujah. Absolutely. I think.
So by sharing this kind of knowledge with the world, you know, we expand their consciousness to as what is possible. Because when we can think of it, when we can have a vision of it, that's the first step to creating it.
Absolutely. I want to ask something that is relates to this, but is still a little bit off. So about Christ, what is your relation? What is your understanding of the traditional Christ, Jesus Christ, or he's not the God's son, but he is the master? Or how do you understand Christ, the person Christ?
So you mean Jesus?
Yes.
Because in the Ascension teachings, the being that would usually be referred to as the Christ is Lord Maitreya, and he was the teacher, or still is, I don't know, the teacher of Jesus. So when Jesus came to earth for this incarnation to bring Christ consciousness, he was prepared for this, and Lord Maitreya was overlighting him and, you know, sharing his energy, the Christ consciousness through Jesus. Jesus, Diana now gives him the role, gives him the title, bringer of cosmic love. So Jesus, his latest mission is to bring cosmic love. But the traditional Christ was Lord Maitreya. So we can think of him as the cosmic Christ. And Jesus came to earth and embodied that consciousness. He embodied the Christ consciousness. But the mission of Lord Maitreya is, to help all of humanity to embody this.
Who was this Lord Maitreya? Did he live on Earth? Or?
He was the same one I mentioned earlier, when the Buddha and the Christ come together at the Vesak festival. So he's also known as Lord of the World in the spiritual, well, hierarchy. I don't particularly like the word hierarchy, but in the spiritual realms, yes, that's a better word. He is known as the Lord of the world.
Thank you.
He's one of the masters that's been written about a lot by Alice Bailey, who was channeling Dwal Kul. And like I said, he's known as the teacher of Jesus. Jesus, whose name on the inner planes is Sananda. Now, Lord Maitreya, he had an incarnation as Krishna. And the fact that he and Buddha come together at this festival tomorrow shows, that they are one. They act as one.
So May 12th is an important date.
Well, this year it changes every year.
This year.
It changes every year. Sometimes because for the spiritual community, they will celebrate it at the Taurus full moon, which sometimes is in April, whereas they tend to celebrate it always in May. So there will be a discrepancy as when it's celebrated. But this year, they seem to celebrate it. Like, for example, India would be celebrating tomorrow, and spiritual communities would celebrate tomorrow because we have the Taurus full moon in May this year. And I know in some other countries like Korea or Taiwan, they celebrated a week ago and worked this out in relation to I think they do it in the first full moon, not the first, I forgot now, I was told last week. But it's something maybe the first weekend, I'm not sure. It's to do with the lunar calendar. So they look at their lunar calendar. But yeah, the point is they celebrated it a week ago, 12 minus 7, the 5th. They celebrated on the 5th. I know Korea and Taiwan. Probably Singapore as well, I'm not sure.
This is a lot of deep information for me. Thank you for patience. I will ask you one final question, then we have our hour.
Okay.
So, how do you view traditional Christianity? Do you think it's a contradiction or they are complementary with Dana Cooper's teachings? Traditional Christianity is contradiction or complementary with Dana Cooper, or
traditional Christianity? Well, I was brought up Catholic. In fact, you were asking me about Jesus, and in fact, probably because I was brought up Catholic, religious, I had to go to church every Sunday and that kind of thing. I initially, as I started on my spiritual path, I had a resistance towards traditionally religious figures like Jesus, maybe Mary as well, I'm not sure. I tend to forget what's in the past. But yeah, a few years ago, I got very close to Jesus. I think I was always close to Jesus. There was always a deep connection between us, but I just sort of had a resistance towards accepting it. And in fact, when I wrote my first book, which was called Higher Ascension Tools, I wrote a chapter about Jesus and how I went through this transition, because I wanted to give importance to all the other masters that I learned about, but not Jesus. So I sort of, pushed him back. I didn't want to accept him, but eventually I understood, or his energy is coming in now. I can feel it. So I called that chapter Embracing Jesus. And I also made it into a card in my own card deck. So there is a card called Embracing Jesus. Of course, in every religion, there is something beautiful and there is love, but it just has become distorted. And we have, ascended masters specifically with the mission to work at bringing the religions into alignment again. So Mary Magdalene is one of the lady masters who works on this. Take away those distorted views and the fear, because there's a lot of fear now in the religion. Growing up Catholic, you had to go to confession, you had to confess your sins, you were taught that you are a sinner. And obviously, I was never particularly happy in church. I remember I used to faint a lot. You faint, that's a sign you don't really want to be there. So it's like my spirit trying to go away. So when your spirit goes away, you sort of faint. Yeah, but I can see the positive side. At least I know roughly what's there in that religion, what's in the Bible. So that's sometimes it's also an advantage point to know about the stories that are in there, because of course all those beings are high frequency masters.
I understand stuff.
Like Jesus, Mother Mary, Mary Magdalene, Abraham, Joseph, all those figures. Moses, they're all ascended masters.
Thank you. So let me end this by saying that I am grateful, very grateful, always grateful. Thank you. Namaste.
Thank you. Thank you,
Francisca.
Kalle. Namaste.